What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video, and there's some post-Clash of Champions news that includes possible Hell in a Cell matches, more big things happening for Kofi Kingston, hiding Luke Harper, Paul Heyman's input, the Revival make history, hyping the WWE Draft, and a wrestler that goes by the name of Chris was banned from being mentioned last night. Let's get straight into the first bit of news, as there are some possible Hell in a Cell matches already being predicted. With Clash of Champions over, fans are curious as to what big matches to expect at the next pay-per-view Hell in a Cell. Right now, there are several possibilities, with number one being Becky Lynch vs Sasha Banks. As following Lynch's brutal, albeit well-deserved assault on the boss, it's almost a given that the man will face Banks in a Hell in a Cell match. Number 2, The Fiend vs Seth Rollins. Although the WWE Universe knew about this match thanks to a leaked advertisement for the pay-per-view, the question is whether the WWE needs to pit The Fiend vs Universal Champion Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. As cool as this might be, there's no storyline need for the two men to be confined in a cage. It could happen, but it should be seen as a given. Number 3, Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan vs Erick, Rowan and Luke Harper. Luke Harper's return means Roman Reigns now has to deal with the Bludgeon Brothers, two tough competitors he'll likely need help against. Speculation is already flying that Reigns will team with Daniel Bryan, with Bryan turning face. Let's hope that doesn't happen, as Wrestlelamia has been enjoying Bryan's heel act and it's too early to turn him face. A better choice is Samoa Joe, who the WWE has teased might ally with the big dog in the near future. There's also some possible rematches that include the Revival vs the New Day, as while the WWE no longer has an automatic rematch clause, that doesn't mean the New Day won't be looking for revenge on the newly crowned tag team champions. Number 2, Cedric Alexander vs AJ Styles. Considering US champion AJ Styles had his OC colleagues beat up Cedric Alexander after defeating him, the WWE seems to be setting up a rematch either on television or at Hell in a Cell. What do you guys think of these Hell in a Cell matches? Should the rematches just be reserved for Raw? Next up, more big things happening for Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston's win over Randy Orton was the latest successful title defense by the WWE Champion, with more than a few people believing Kofi could be the real deal. A wrestler whose ascension to the main event will be more than a lasting situation, as opposed to someone like Jinder Mahal, who held a WWE Championship for a respectable run, but faded out of the main event once he dropped the belt. Some recent comments by Bleacher Report's Erick shed some light on the possibilities. Kingston's win over Orton not only legitimized his reign, it continued the trend of WWE Creative treating Kingston like an elite star who accepts challenges, beats his opponents, and elevates both his star and the title as a result. Not since John Cena's year-long reign from September 2006 to 2007 has a babyface champion been presented as strongly, as tough, and as intelligently as Kingston has. So strongly in fact that the blue brand now lacks credible challengers beyond Roman Reigns for Kingston to defend his gold against. That is a good problem to have, but one that will have to be addressed as soon as Tuesday night. With any luck, the WWE won't go with the easy choice of one more match against Randy Orton. Kofi has nothing to prove against Orton, and Orton phoning it in at Clash of Champions really gives him little reason to book them again. While Kofi may not have credible challengers, that seems to be a situation throughout the WWE, as the promotion has failed to build up new stars from the vast pool of talent on the various rosters. Next up, the lengths WWE took at hiding Luke Harper. Fans were downright shocked by Luke Harper's surprise return at Clash of Champions, as Harper, long rumoured to be disgusted with his WWE push and looking for a release, showed up during the Roman Reigns vs Rowan bout. Harper joined Rowan in bludgeoning Roman and giving Rowan the win. How did the WWE hide Harper's return though? According to PW Insider, Harper was not listed on the format sheet for the show and was hidden until just before the Reigns vs Rowan bout. No one saw him backstage until just before his return. Next up, Paul Heyman's input. Although fans are still debating whether Braun Strowman should have lost to Seth Rollins at Clash of Champions, largely due to this being yet another instance of the monster among men coming up short in his bid for the Universal Championship, it's clear the WWE was trying to protect Strowman, having Rollins hit 4 curb stomps and a pedigree in order to pin the big man. According to Dave Meltzer, Paul Heyman likely played a huge role in this aspect of the match, noting on the Wrestling Observer Radio, I figured that Seth Rollins would lose in the beginning and then win at the end. That's Vince. Now the match with Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, the way that thing was laid out, that was totally Paul Heyman. You know, it's like big move, big move, big move. When you have a limited guy which is Strowman, that's how you hide him, by doing finish, finish, finish. So I saw that influence. Next up, the Revival makes history. In case you missed it, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder's SmackDown Tag Team Championship victory over the New Day earned them a place in WWE history as the first team to hold the NXT Tag Team Championship, the Raw Tag Team Championship, and the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Next up, hyping the WWE Draft. As we've been mentioning in our news videos, the WWE is pushing to make its upcoming 2-night draft into an all-out spectacular. As you may recall, the draft will begin on SmackDown Live on 11th October and conclude during the 14th October episode of Raw. Reportedly, the WWE wants to make it even more special, as on both nights of the draft, superstars from Raw and SmackDown will appear along with personalities from Fox and NBC Universal programming to announce select picks that will determine the rosters of each distinct brand. And our last story, a certain former WWE superstar named Chris was banned from being mentioned last night. Like the Revival, The Miz was trying to make history when the WWE's A-lister took on Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. In The Miz's case, he was aiming to tie Chris Jericho's record of 9 Intercontinental Championship wins, quite an achievement. Several times the announcers mentioned The Miz would tie the record if he defeated the King of Strong Style, but not once did they mention the man who holds the record, Chris Jericho. The reason was obvious, but let's get Dave Captain Obvious Meltzer's observation, as he said they were pushing for the idea that if The Miz won, then he would tie for the most Intercontinental Champions of all time. But they could not say Chris Jericho holds the record. With the competition from AEW getting harder every week, it'll be interesting to see what other subtle moves the WWE makes to try and erase history. Wrestlelamia can't help but wonder who will replace Dean Ambrose as the founding member of The Shield. But there you have it guys, the latest wrestling news. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.